What's going on, you guys? I am beyond excited. So today we have the unboxing and full review of the Huawei Mate 60 Pro here in the US, okay? So how did this come about, all right? I'm sitting there, chilling with Xi Jinping, rolling up blunts, passing them around. I go, look, man, I got about 4 or 5 fans on YouTube, hungry fans, that need these new reviews, okay? I know this phone's banned in the US, all right? I know all about secret intelligence and surveillance, okay? Hook me up, man. Hook me up with this phone so I can review it for my five loyal subscribers, all right? And what do I know? Lo and behold, Royal China Post, I get a knock on my door a week later. It's Xi Jinping himself. He goes, what's up, man? What's up? I need a blunt. And I said, not without paying, my man, not without paying. So he handed me a 20, and he handed me this package too, and he said, this is for you, okay? This is for you. So here we go. This is the Huawei Mate 60 Pro. Let's go ahead and unwrap it with Chelsea's mom's Christmas gift, okay? Let's go ahead and see what we got. I am so excited for this phone, you guys. If for no other reason than almost like a collector's item, because I don't expect this to work here. I don't expect this to work with any kind of accuracy or any kind of fluidity here in the US. So packaged very nicely, okay? Huawei Mate 60 Pro, right there, sealed in the box, new. Here we go. All right, let's cut into it here. All right, I'm so stoked for this, you guys. I don't even know what to expect, all right? This is like from a undiscovered land. So pop them open. What do we got? Phone here. Charger, 88 watt Huawei Supercharge. And the cable. Now this is from Wanda Mobile, and they said online it would be unsealed. It would be opened before shipping. It's a brand new phone, but they're unsealed for activation, and then they ship it to you. So here we have all the books. This is in a language I cannot comprehend, faraway land. There, get a little case. Let's pop this phone open. Oh yeah, you guys, you know I got that green. So here we go. This is it right here. Huawei Mate 60 Pro, it feels nice. It feels nice, it's solid, the corners are rounded and smooth. I can't wait to mess with this phone, you guys. I truly can't. So here's the case they give you. Again, real quick, you guys know I usually do the comparison. This doesn't even take that long. Samsung box, 1,400 bucks. Boom, nothing in the box. It's hard to compare, right? Because this phone, this Huawei here, is more than likely not going to work in the US, so it's hard to really shit on Samsung on this one. But here it is. Here's a little case. They get you a little case for it. Now, the biggest reason I got this, I'm honestly fascinated with it. I was fascinated with it last year, and I want to see what this phone is all about. I don't expect to be able to use it again here in the U.S. And honestly, I just got it almost as a collector, because I don't expect to be able to resell this fairly easily either here in the U.S. But let me go ahead and power this on. We're live, baby. We are live, okay? Harmony OS. So here it is powering on. Now let me figure this out, set this up, and I'll be back with you guys to give the full review. All right, you guys, so we're back in for the review, and it's been a couple weeks for me, but it's only been about a second for you guys. So let's right off the bat, the questions everybody's gonna have about this phone. Number one, does this work in the US as far as making phone calls and getting texts? The answer is yes, okay? And number two, does it have Google Play services? The answer is yes, you can get Google Play services on here. I have been running Google Play services. Everything is working good. I have, as you guys can see, I have Gmail here running. I have Google Voice right here. text Chelsea right there. Right there, you see it went through. I have Google Play Store right here. You can download apps. Let's download. Install. You get a text back from Chelsea. You see it pops up. There's a pop-up notifications. Okay, you guys can see there's notifications right there. Right there, it's downloading the app from Play Store. So this is not going to be the shortest video, but I want to give this phone the time it deserves because I don't think a lot of people have this here in the US. So I really want to go over it thoroughly. So AI Mirror, we just downloaded this. I'm just trying to show you guys that everything does work on this. So we just downloaded the app and there it is right there in our home screen, and you can open it and it starts up. You can go into it, allow, turn photos into art. So yes and yes are the two answers, okay? Now let's get into the review and let's go over everything and let's talk about this phone a little bit, all right? So the important specs, this phone has a 6.8-inch OLED screen. It's got second generation Kunlun glass, 12 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigs of memory for this version. 225 grams is the weight, all right? So we only know ounces around here if you guys watch the LG NV video. 225, an ounce is 28 grams. If your boy's telling you anything different, you got to switch your boy up, okay? If you've got to flick the corner of your bag to get the flakes, the last of the flakes on the scale to get to 28 grams, you know, it is what it is. You got to get yourself a new boy, all right? They're probably pinching a nug out and rolling blunts with it. So 28 grams to an ounce, 225 grams for the phone, 7.94 ounces, okay? And this phone feels, it's not too heavy, it's not too light. It feels just right, just like the Bears. It feels just right in the hand. And it almost feels, if anything, I would say, it feels heavier than the softness of its appearance would dictate, okay, if that makes any sense. So let's keep going. 50 megapixel ultralight variable camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, 48 megapixel ultra macro telephoto camera. It supports 3.5 time optical zoom. The lens focal length is 24 millimeter, 13 millimeter, 90 millimeter. And 100 times digital zoom, okay? So all you guys that are camera guys, that are photo guys, you guys are gonna know what all those numbers mean. I'm just a guy who gets these phones because I'm interested in them and I wanna see what it do. So the front camera is 13 megapixel ultra wide camera. Okay, so the chipset on this phone, it's a Kirin 9000S, Kirin 9000S chipset. So what's interesting about this, and as everybody already probably knows clicking into this, the US banned chip sales to Huawei. And the company reportedly used a 7 nanometer chip from SMIC, which is Semiconductor Manufacturing Corp, a chip that China has not been known to produce, okay? So all of a sudden, they came out with this phone with a chip in it that China's not known to make on its own without US companies, right? And so now there's a big to-do, a whole mystery about it. You know, it's a who done it, how'd they do it? It's China in the foyer with the candlestick type of thing, all right? So, and what I will say as part of the specs is, with the setup all this takes, I would say this phone is probably not for the faint of heart here in the US. It's not that it's difficult to set up, but obviously the lack of Google Play services, and even on the Xiaomis nowadays, you guys can go into the Mi App Store and download Google Play services pretty easily. And if not, you can go to Google and install an APK, and it usually ends up working. And this is a little bit more difficult. Now, if you guys have been listening to up to now, I want to reiterate, this is not G-Box. This is not, what's the other one? G-Space, okay? This is not Micro G, okay? I'm not savvy enough in programming. I need to ask my buddy Jay to explain it to me. I'm not savvy enough to know what it is. I will link a video down below of the video that I used to install this Google Play services, but this is not, it's the closest thing I've seen to the real Google Play services. My notifications come in at the same time as my iPhone and my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. I am so excited about this, you guys. I legitimately didn't know. Ordering this phone, you know, I paid what, $1,200 for it, $1,300 for it, and I honestly didn't know if I was going to be able to get it running here in the US. So this was going to be almost a lost cause for me, you know, poking at it after it starts up. But I did get it going. I did get Google Play services on it. You know, I got bars on it. You see all the bars right there. This is my SIM card in it. I don't have Wi-Fi turned on right now. We can go to Opera browser. We can search and go to YouTube, and you guys can see it loads. There's Google loading. There's YouTube loading. So you guys can see that it's working on a network. Okay. So we'll keep talking more about this. 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It's going to take a little bit to get used to the battery, okay? At first, it was dying super quick, but after a while, now it's holding charge pretty good. 88 watt fast charge. This thing charges really quick, and it's got reverse wireless charging, all right? So let's talk about the display, okay? With the brightness all the way up and the max settings like vivid, and the screen, it looks so crisp. It's hard to explain it, but it looks absolutely fantastic. And here's like a little comparison. And obviously the screen on the S24 Ultra also looks fantastic, but there's some kind of crispness about this display, and it's replicated on the other Chinese phones too, in my opinion. This is my personal opinion. It looks so crisp and vivid, okay? And I turned my settings all the way up to vivid. We're gonna go over all the settings too, by the way, guys. So just tune in, okay? So somehow this phone feels really good in my hand, but it feels more. So this Galaxy S24 Ultra feels more square and you know, it's rectangular and sharp and more aggressive, I would say. This has the softer rounded corners and edges, and the soft rounded edges, and it feels really good in the hand. And I don't actually know if it's necessarily thinner than the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but it feels more flat, almost like a pancake, to where there's some kind of a pop, like 3D effect when you hold these phones and even the iPhone. On this, it kind of feels more flat, and that's not to say that it's a bad thing. I'm just trying to give you guys a feel for what it is. And this kind of more matte, this is not such a glassy finish. It feels super nice in the hand. The weight feels good. The display size feels great. Overall, feels super nice. It's nothing astounding, you know, it's nothing like amazing or that much crazy different than, you know, what you can get here in the US, but it feels crisp and it feels super nice. I don't know why I noticed this, but I'll put this in the display portion of the video. I noticed this thing is really good at waking up when I look at it. I mean, even from the corner. When this thing's sitting over here on the table and it's off, and I glance at it from way over here, hi grandma, I glance at it from way over here, it wakes up really good, because I've got the setting set to wake the screen when I look at it. And I don't know if that's Xi Jinping looking at me right there. I see the eyeballs glaring at me, or what it is, but that's one thing. It's really good at waking up the screen when you look at it, which leads me into biometrics, right? Which you get your standard. When I go through all the settings, we'll set all this up. So right now, I'll just give you an overview of it. So the biometrics are quick. The face unlock is super quick, and that's been the kind of the trend with these Chinese phones. Now, I was very disappointed in the face unlock on this S24 Ultra. I actually use my fingerprint the most to get in, and the face unlock on this Huawei, as the rest of the Chinese phones, absolutely did not disappoint. Super quick. I mean, it gets in so quick. You guys can see right there. Boom, I get right in. Boom, right in. So super quick, right? And then on this one, takes a little bit longer. You guys see? It's quick too, but this one's super nice, super nice. Fast face unlock, fast fingerprint unlock, and obviously you have your PIN, which you set like regular, okay? All right, let's run into the sound. The sound on this phone, I gotta be honest with you guys, I was a little bit disappointed in it, all right? I'm disappointed in the sound of this phone. It's a little bit quiet. In the headphones, it's a little bit muted, and my scientific test, you guys know this is a test that, you know, this is how you know the exact, very specific, is if you have to keep cranking the volume up, because it's not loud enough in your headphones. It's not loud enough, okay? So let's go through this real quick. Let's get you guys a sample here. I'm on the new Beyonce album there. Let's get out of here. Let's go home. So. Okay, let's bring this in. Let's see, let me fast forward it so you guys can hear the words.
The best for you, but I don't think less of you. We ain't gotta meet if it's beef, I make you a vegetable. Rest in peace t-shirts, artists making a sketch of you. Listen, I realized if you're great, it's never a rest for you. Know what
As compared to the S24 Ultra full loud.
it feels when your best friends don't want the best for you. Your brother want revenge, but that'll make it to death for two. Some I ain't really pressed to do. They say
S24.
but I don't think less of you. We ain't gotta meet if it's beef. I make you a vegetable.
Huawei.
Scramble on these 16s. My mind is too scrambled to be pristine, but I'ma still
S24.
rest in peace. T-shirts, artists making a sketch of you. Your brother
Huawei.
gamble on this quick scheme. Already got my.
Okay, so it almost sounds like the Huawei is louder, in my opinion, but the S24 Ultra is more crisp. Now, in my personal experience of using this, the volume wasn't the loudest. I kept cranking it up, and in my headphones, the volume also was not the loudest. Now, Bluetooth connectivity, no problems there. Connects right away with my headphones. I use my JLabs on it and my Powerbeats Pro, and connectivity is great. You can walk away from it pretty far in the gym, go back and re-rack and grab some other weights and come back. Everything's great there. Distance is great. No problems there. Again, not impressed with the sound. A little bit too quiet for me. Okay. All right. Let's get into the camera for a little bit here. So the camera, it changes the picture once you take it. It's super nice at first. Like when you take the picture, it's super nice at first. It looks almost, it looks fake, as Chelsea said. It looks fake, and then it transforms it more into the real picture. Okay. Now you can. This is super macro on. I'm going to turn this off. Now you can shut this. Let's see here. There's an AI feature there that I shut off. Where's my settings? That's effects. So you take a picture. I shut it off, but there's an AI setting. It's AI processing that you shut off and it stops doing that. But at first, it takes the picture and it's almost like the iPhone, and you look at it and it looks so nice when it takes it, and then it whoa, right? And it changes the picture on you to more realistic. Now, if you leave the AI processing on, it's going to look almost airbrushed, right? And it's going to process it into a more realistic photo, almost like the Samsung Galaxy 24 Ultra camera. It's not quite as real as the iPhone camera that shows every single wrinkle. The iPhone camera is probably the most realistic camera out, and I don't like that because a lot of times if I look like a Shar-Pei in the morning, if I look horrible, it shows it. The iPhone definitely does. So this thing you can have, if you guys go in here and you got your portrait here, now you can click beauty right there, and you can scale your beauty up, and that's what makes it look almost airbrushed. Obviously, I'm gonna throw some pictures up here, but it makes it look almost airbrushed, okay? So stabilization is lacking on this a little bit, and I would say overall, the phone is not the greatest point and shoot. I would say that I had to mess a little bit with this phone to get these settings where I want it. Now, what I will say is messing around with it wasn't necessarily as difficult as some of the Pro RAW features on these other phones and some of the other phones like, you know, the Sonys and even this S24 Ultra. Once I go into the settings, a lot of times I get lost, you guys. It's beyond me. Into the Pro settings, it's honestly beyond me for photography. But this phone, I was able to go, okay, we're looking a little too airbrushed, right? And then able to turn down the beauty filter because it's accessible right there. It's, you know, fairly idiot proof, which for me, you know, that works and that helps, okay? So I would say it's not the greatest for point and shoot, but once you mess around with it, the pictures end up coming out looking really, really good, okay? So, all right, next thing's up, and then we'll go through all the settings. Let's talk about Google Play services. What I'm gonna do, I was gonna do a video on this, but I'm gonna link a video down in the description, and this guy did a way better job than I could of walking me through this. And if you guys do this step by step, this is how I got Google Play services. And again, I'm not advanced enough in programming or whatever to know exactly and explain to you exactly what happened, but all I know is I have Google Play services. I have Gmail, everything's working, and you guys can see I have YouTube Studio, YouTube Music, I have Reddit, and I have Google Play Store here. And everything for me is working just fine. The one thing I will say is not working, and this is a big thing, but you know, for me, this is a secondary phone, so keep that in mind, you guys. But one thing that's not working is my contacts. I can't seem to get
I can't seem to get my contacts to sync to Google. And yes, I know that's a huge deal. So basically I'm having to, you know, if I send a Google Voice message from my S24 Ultra, it'll pop up in my Google Voice here. And I'm sure if I research it, there's probably a way to get it all to sync. But everything else, you guys see, I got notifications coming in, you know, right there, pop-up notifications. I got scroll down. I can control my YouTube music here. So everything works. And if you guys follow the instructions, you got to follow it closely, directly. This is how you get Google Play on this phone, right? So a little bit about this is in 2019, Huawei was actually on pace to become the largest smartphone manufacturer, but they had a lot of accusations of shady business practices. There's been accusations with no hard proof of using the products, the Huawei products, to spy on other nations, okay, which is obviously a big deal. So in May of 2019, Trump, then President Trump, announced that Huawei and several other companies were on the Entity List, which is a list of companies that cannot do business with any organization that operates in the US, which is then Google, Qualcomm, Intel, etc., which is why this thing was such a big splash. It's like, where do they get the chips if they're not allowed to operate with the US, if they're not allowed to do business with the US companies producing the chips? Did they make their own? Did they use an old batch? You know, what's all the hubbub? But anyway, that's a little bit of the backstory about it. But the answer is I do have Google Play services here. All right. So, all right, let's keep going. Let's go through the settings so you guys can get a full feel of this phone, and let's see what it's all about. All right. So you guys are going to power it up and you guys are going to set your language. And one thing I will say, this is an interesting feeling. When you set your language to English on this phone, I don't know how to explain this. On the Xiaomi phones, Xiaomi. I always get roasted for saying Xiaomi. On the Xiaomi phones, when I change, you change the language to setup language to English, it's available, but it feels like a Chinese phone running an English skin. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. Those of you guys that understand what I'm talking about will understand. This phone, when I set it to English, it actually felt like a phone running in English, right? It didn't feel like it was trying too hard to be an English phone, okay? It almost felt like it could run this naturally, okay? And when I installed this, I was honestly amazed. I'm so geeked, you guys, that this thing works. And when I installed this Google Play services, I'm amazed that I was getting notifications faster than on my Galaxy S24 Ultra. Today, I had both of these phones sitting here, and my notifications were coming in, and I would get notifications on the Huawei quicker than I was getting it on the S24 Ultra, all right? Which is, to me, it's just so cool. And if you guys are phone nerds, if you guys are geeks about this kind of stuff, it is so cool, because this is a fully functional, operational phone. I'm able to take this thing, run, go outside, do whatever I want with it without having to bring this one with me, because I know I'll get my messages. I know, as long as you're using Google Voice, right? And it's using the right SIM card, okay? So, and to show you guys here, as we go through the settings, I have my SIM card in here. So let's get started. Settings right here. There's my Huawei ID. All right, I set this up with my phone number, my burner number. Finish setting up your device, all right? And there's your regular settings here. So this is your Wi-Fi settings, Wi-Fi, network acceleration. Selected apps can simultaneously use mobile data and Wi-Fi to maintain optimal connection quality. Actual data usage is subject to your carrier statistics. Turn the switch off and on again to restore data usage notification. So here you can combine powers, right? You can transform into a super Wi-Fi here that you can keep running. More settings. Wi-Fi Plus automatically switch between WLAN and mobile data to stay online. You can turn this on or off. The direct security check. You can install certificates. Bluetooth settings here. Device name, Mate 60 Pro, right there. Received files, yada, yada, yada. There's all your connections. There's my Toyota. There's my 4Runner. There's my JLabs. Mobile network here. I don't have airplane mode on. Mobile data. As you guys can see, there's my SIM. Ignore the number, even though that's my other number, doesn't matter. Okay, carrier here. Preferred network T-Mobile. So I put my SIM card in. I'll tell you guys what happened. So Google Play took a little bit to install, but when I put my SIM card in, this is my Mint Mobile SIM card, I put my SIM card in, everything turned on right away. I was able to make phone calls. I was able to do text messages. Now let's try this here. Now, I'm going to do my best to blur out my... Let's see here. You guys see I got my incoming call here. That's from me. I'm calling myself. And this is from my phone app. But let me actually see if I can change my default app. Let's see. Default app, phone app. Let's go contacts. And I believe we'll even get the pop-up. And let's try it again. And right there, you guys see I'm getting a call, right? So there you go. I'm getting the phone call. Guys, see I'm about to have a text come in. Right there. I got text coming in. Everything is working perfectly, okay? And this is on my mobile data. This is without Wi-Fi turned on. So I'm connected to T-Mobile, and I'm just trying to show you guys that this thing just it does work, okay? So all right, let's keep going here. You got your satellite network. Make and receive phone calls and send and receive messages via the Tiantong satellite network. And obviously, now this I think is kind of, it's competing with the iPhone when you're stuck in the woods and you guys need to call a chopper to get me out, I'm stuck in here and I'm missing, I cut my leg off with a butter knife. This is like the Chinese version of that, so obviously you're not gonna be able to use that here, but I think that's what it's doing. To compete. You guys will have to excuse me if I catch a cough or sneeze. I've been sick as a dog all week. I don't know what happened. I woke up sick as a dog. So satellite network right there. Super device. This sounds, I'm so excited about this. Actually, seamlessly link your devices so they work together as one. Nearby devices logged into your account or linked to this device are discovered automatically, which is pretty cool, but I don't have any other Huawei devices, right? So you can do super home screen. So on all of your Huawei tablet, everything is going to sync and be the same. Multi-device mobile network. Use this device's mobile network connection to make and receive calls on your Huawei pads and all that. Suggested devices task center. Love it. This is if you guys have multiple Huawei devices, this would be a super cool feature. And then you got more connections. Nearlink enables fast, reliable connection with nearby devices. Huawei Share. Quickly send images, videos, apps, and more to nearby devices. Allow computers on the same network to access files on this device. Huawei Share, allow access to Huawei ID. NFC, easy projection. This service needs to use Bluetooth, and so you can do wireless projection here, which I'm not going to have Wi-Fi here. Printing, Huawei HiCar. Obviously, we're not going to be able to use Google Auto here in the US now. If anyone has figured out how to do it, please correct me. But from my understanding, cannot use Google or Android Auto here. You can use Huawei HiCar, VPN, and private DNS right there. Okay, home screen and style. So there's your themes, your wallpaper, always on display. You got magazine unlock and your icons. Okay, so let's go through it. Okay, so themes. Wonderland, Flow, Land. Right there. Flow. Land. You got the magazine themes here. So you can set your phone to unlock like you're opening a magazine. Poster. And you guys see it takes you from the always on display into your home screen. So this is what it looks like. Always on, boom, unlock, and there's your home screen. Headline here looks like this. Your interactive, these are like your live wallpapers here. And you have immersive weather. This is the one I'm using, and this is the one I've been loving, and it changes based on your weather. So it gives you a cute little landscape, and then it changes based on the weather outside, based on your location. Kind of cool, super cool. And then you got your emojis. So that's what is on the lock screen, comes in. So you got that. And then you got your classics, all right, which is circle, Crescent Lake, and delighting. This is kind of cool, right? Kind of looks futuristic, like a lava lamp. And then it's got more themes here, but obviously this is like more themes that would connect you to your Samsung themes in the Galaxy Store, but you're not going to be able to connect to anything here. At least I'm not, because I am not in China. Pretty far from it. What I will say is, Wanda Mobile sent this to me super quick. About 2-3 days until ship, and then about 2-3 days to get it. So there's your themes. You can set your wallpaper, and you've got different wallpapers you can select from gallery. Now I've got my immersive weather wallpaper, so I've already got it set automatically, and it changes automatically. Suggested. There's that. Scenic. They actually have some pretty cool ones. This right here, going through a crater, sitting on the side of the crater, looking at what could be a mountain going into a crater, some water washing up on some sand, probably leading to a crater, and a mountain there. That actually looks pretty cool there. And then you can also blur it here. You can blur the wallpaper. And you've got light. Purple, yellow, blue, and then vibrant. And again, you can blur these. And then refined. Oh, little birds. Look at these cute little guys. Look at that, tweet, tweet. And you can't, I don't know if you guys can hear the birds outside, but that's actually fitting. I fixed Chelsea's going to need to tell me. I was climbing up the ladder to fix the birdhouse, the AI birdhouse. Now we hear birds chirping again. So there's your wallpapers. Little birdies. And simple. This is just some different colors. How can you blur that? You can blur it. And then more wallpapers is going to try to take you to the store, which you can't. So there's your wallpapers there. And obviously, once you have Google Play services, you can download the different Maxellus wallpapers, Maxellus or whatever, the live wallpapers, and get them that way too. So here's your always on display. Honestly, I'm going to say this overall as we go through the settings. This phone is not as customizable as some of the other phones, such as a Xiaomi, even the Samsung, the Galaxies are a little bit more customizable, meaning you can do more with the always on display. For example, this is the example I always give, right? So, you know, in here, if I go always on display, I have a ton of settings, right? So here I have live wallpaper too, but I can change it. Right, got creative, you can generate wallpapers, AI generate, even though it's not so good. Wallpaper services, you've got, I can do I know where it's at. I got so much stuff here. So this is good lock. Clock face, there it is. And you can go in here and change your clocks. And as you guys can see, I have my clocks I made here. you can customize it a little more, okay? So for this one, it's actually not as customizable as I would have hoped. Now, the price range for this is absolutely flagship price range. It's, like I said, I paid about $1,300, but we're talking about importing the phone, right? So I don't know how many people are actually going to do that. So you're probably paying a premium for what this phone is. Anyway, as far as this home screen, it's not as customizable as I would have thought. So here's your always on display, full screen, right? You can have your full screen on display, apply. You can have your interactive display. When smart mode is selected, you can interact with this always on display by moving your head or swiping on the screen. You got this little guy, this little dude looking at you, this astronaut here. You can show the date and time. You can show the notifications and battery. All right. You can have images. At Chelsea here, I made an image. Or this one. You have different templates. Change into a window, right? Show date and time. Or layout, change your layout here so your picture's up above and then the time's down below, like this. Or the time's up above. A bunch of different options. I'm gonna go with the full screen. I ever since iPhone did it, this is one of those things where I actually was dick riding Apple on it. I like when they did their always on display and it was the full screen. I loved it, so that's what I'm gonna do mine with. You got graffiti here. Be brilliant together. Let life be beautiful like summer flowers. Make it possible. I'm your new mate. Dream it possible. Hello world. And then you can change it, right? You can change the color here. You can change what it says. CK forever. You can change the color. You can add stickers. Get a little avocado going in here. Right? Show date and time, show notifications and battery. So you can change this up a little bit. Look, at these guys are calling me. I gotta call these guys back. When I moved out of my last place, I canceled my account with my service company, but I didn't, my like gas provider or whatever, but I must have not paid the bill. Now I owe them like $250 from a year ago, and the company didn't hit me up, but these guys are just hitting me up now, chasing me around. Anyway, I pay my bills, you guys, at least I try to, okay? Sometimes I'm a little late, but now I'm like, we're a year removed, man. You want me to pay for gas services? Taxation is theft, everybody. Taxation is theft. Okay, you've got artistic here, always on display. 1059, 1059. Looks like shapes. Trigonometry. I'm no math magician. Analog clock here with different styles. And digital clock here with different styles. So there's your always on displays. And you can get more. And what I will say, I just said it's not as customizable as you would have thought. What I will say is it's probably more customizable if you're in China and everything works the exact way it's supposed to. You know what I mean? If you can connect to their Play stores and connect to their app stores and connect to their theme stores, I'm sure it can be more customizable than what it is here in the US. So, but what I'm talking about is just straight up basic settings. These settings seem fairly basic compared to even the S24 Ultra, when you can go in there and change a lot of your stuff up and whatnot. I actually think we skipped the icons. So here's your different icon shapes that you can change. And you can change your pop art, these, I like these guys right here. And unfortunately, it hasn't changed it. Obviously on my Google Play apps, it hasn't updated, or not updated, but it hasn't changed the icons. But if you guys see here, the gallery icon, this is the Huawei gallery. The Google Photos icon looks flat. This gallery icon's popping, right? We just changed it. So I haven't figured out how to apply like the icon styles to my Google Play apps yet. But you know what? I got Google Play on this phone running, and I'm talking, straight up running with no problems, and I will be grateful for that, and I will have no complaints over that, okay? One thing I will say while I remember it, when I'm running Google Maps, this phone gets ultra hot. Hot to the point where it's telling me, it told me it has to go into dark mode. Chelsea and I were driving to Chicago to go ring shopping. I was actually gonna post some pictures, but they didn't let me take pictures. I was gonna do my camera comparison on the rings and then post the picture in the videos, but they didn't let me take pictures. Anyway, we'll go again, but we were driving to Chicago and I had Google Maps on this phone, and I just, had it running in the background, and it got so hot that it told me I had a warning pop up, and it said we got to switch to dark mode to cool this thing down, my brother, because we're getting a little hot. So keep that in mind. But again, I don't think this phone is meant to run Google Play apps, right? And necessarily. So it doesn't really know how to manage those apps. And I'm grateful to even be getting notifications and all that. So display and brightness. There's your brightness right there. Automatic, sure. View mode, dark mode, on or off. You can schedule it or enable it all day. Eye comfort shield, pretty standard feature now on all the phones. Scheduled, enable all day. Filter out blue light to reduce eye fatigue. All right, and you can do flicker reduction here too. Text and display size, text style. You can do default, pretty much the only option you got. Text size and weight. Make it smaller, normal, large, extra large, huge. To enable extra large text sizes, go to accessibility features. Huge. We'll do normal. I do small on my Galaxy, so I don't know. Text weight, this is like the boldness of it. I'll go light. Text size and weight. Display size. So you can, there's an example for your email, how it's going to look. I usually like them small because I feel like I can fit more things on the screen. They look more crisp for some reason, but that's personal preference. There's your display size. Sleep, screen timeout. Boom. Color mode and temperature. There's your normal, and there's your vivid, and you can actually, I can personally see a big difference. Normal, vivid, normal, vivid. I like vivid. Screen resolution, I've got it on high. Smart resolution will automatically adjust the resolution to save battery. I've got it on high. My whole thing is, and a lot of these other reviewers say the same thing, I pay a lot of money for these phones. I want them to be running on the highest settings, on everything maxed out. Let's go. Screen refresh rate, high, right? Uses more power. More display settings here. HDR images, enhance the display quality of high dynamic range images. Full screen display. The following apps have not been optimized for full screen display. Enabling full screen display can enhance your viewing experience, but may cause some apps to display incorrectly. Apps currently running in the background will be closed. So you got YouTube and Google Account Manager. Hide camera cutout. So you guys see that? It's got the 3, and you can hide it to make a little notch, like the iPhone, like the dynamic display. So sound and vibration. Here's your ringtones. You get sound, vibration, silent, do not disturb. Phone ringtone. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Bamboo Garden right here. Now I got you with the Dance of Joy. Let's go. All right, dream. Dream it possible. They got actual songs on here, man. Fantasy World, they got real songs on here. That chick was singing. Free. So my phones are always set on silent anyway, so it doesn't matter to me that I say that I'm going to forget to turn this off on, vibration. And notification tones, you got your rise. La 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 la, bird song, tweet, 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 tweet. Bongo. So you got a bunch of notification tones. Sound booster, hear more clearly with the help of a Bluetooth device, so you can turn that option on and off. Huawei Histon sound effects, only available with earphones. More settings, startup sound, so when the phone starts up it makes a sound. Keypad tones, default, none, or melody. I'm going to do default. Screen lock, tone, screenshot tone, screen touch tone, vibrate when ringing, system haptics. You guys see I'm getting my notifications with the ringtones and all that. So more. That was Jay texting me, so there's a good chance it's going to be about 10 more texts coming in. He texts, I don't know how you guys text, but some people text in a paragraph. My buddy Jay, he texts me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like strings of thoughts, and then nothing for a long time. So right there, that's sound and vibration. Okay, notification and status bar. You got your search, your status bar, simple display, only show time, Wi-Fi, mobile signal, and battery status. So if I turn this on, all it's going to show, it's going to get rid of the notifications. So I want it cleaned up. Boom. Show app notifications, live view. Live view shows ongoing activities in a pill-shaped icon in the status bar after you leave an app or service. And so links, live view can only be shown when notifications are allowed. So here's the apps that are available for live view. Show network speed, you can turn it on there. All right. Status bar, app icon badges. Badge display numbers or dots, it's pretty standard. Okay. Biometrics and password. Fingerprint ID. Use fingerprint ID to unlock device. Let's add it. I haven't even been using it. The face unlock on this is so good, I don't even use the fingerprint ID. Edges. I'm getting kind of blown up during this video. I hope nobody needs anything important. Someone might be dying and I'm like... One fingerprint added, done. I can access my safe with it, app lock. Oh yeah, I might have to set up another birdhouse. Okay. So where were we? App icon badges. Boom, right there. Okay. Up screen. Hide notification content. Okay, yeah. Biometrics and password. Okay. There we go. Fingerprint ID. Face recognition. Unlock device, direct unlock instead of swipe to unlock. So direct unlock just means that when I look at it, it automatically lets me into the home screen instead of me having to also swipe up or off. Access safe, access blah, blah, blah. I got facial data, set an alternate look. This is for my when I'm feeling different. When I'm feeling different in the morning, I can set an alternate look, set it up. There you guys. I hope you guys can't see this because I look absolutely horrible. So as you can see, it's turn your head. Setup complete. Did you guys see that? I look horrible. I've been sick all week. Use face recognition with a mask. Using the unique features of your eyes, face recognition can authenticate. I'm sure it can, right? I'm sure it can, and get all of your data through your eyes. Give me it all. Wearing a mask, maybe later. All right. Face recognition with a mask. Require trusted device. Require eye contact. Yes. Okay. Face recognition. Change lock screen password. Disable lock screen password. Smart unlock. Unlock your phone without verifying your password or biometrics when a trusted Bluetooth variable is connected. Smart unlock, sure. Enhanced mode. Secure lock settings. Display the lockdown button on the power off screen. In the lockdown mode, your device can only be unlocked using your lock screen password. Okay, so that's biometrics and password. Apps and services. Apps, there's all your apps here. Up here, you can go to app links, show system processes, or reset app preferences. 1111. Launch Manager, Add Optimizer to the home screen. This is just going to add an app that optimizes your device to your home screen. When automatic management is enabled, apps are prevented from launching when they're not needed. So this is your Launch Manager. You launch automatically, and this is where I ended up getting a lot of my notifications. Is the Launch Manager. If I go in here, right here, if you go Manage All automatically, it's probably going to lock the top-down notifications. But if I go in here, for example, Gmail. Manage automatically. If I shut this off, it goes auto launch, secondary launch, run in the background. I turn all those on, keep app running in the background, okay, and that's what's going to get all those notifications to come in and also pop up here. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it awesome how we get the full icon? I love that we get the full icon on these Chinese phones, like the actual icon for the notifications. So there you go. There's all that. Launch Manager is going to be a good friend of you guys if you guys get this phone here in the US. Services, all life, browser, camera. This is all your services here. Permission Manager is another one. You want to go to your apps, authorize your permissions. Default apps, and set your default apps. There's your launcher, phone, SMS app, browser app. I've got this set to Opera. More. Here's your gallery. It's cool because I can set my default gallery to photos. I'm going to keep the default, but you can change it. It's cool. Video. And what this will make it easier for you guys to post to Instagram with all of your Google photos versus just a gallery. Again, I want to reiterate because this is a long video. We're not talking about Gbox. I don't have Gbox installed. I don't have Gspace installed. This is not a workaround for Google services, okay? Default apps, you can restore apps, app assistant, boost game performance, block out notifications. We're not going to turn that on. App twin, so you can make another version of an app. There's your app settings. App info, cloud gallery, photo orientation, slideshow interval, smart filter. So there's your apps and services. Battery. This battery is a beast. At first, it was running out really quick. Now, again, once you install Google Play services, in my mind, the game changes because this thing's going to do what it does, okay? It's optimized to run the apps that it knows it's going to run and that it's meant to run. It's not optimized to run Google services, okay? So once you install it, I expect the battery to go down quicker, but this battery has been doing great. But the first few days, it would come down pretty quick, especially if I was running a lot of apps. But I was also on this phone a ton, just setting it up. And once you guys let it go, easily runs a whole day, easily. So there's your battery. Performance mode, you can turn on performance mode, power saving mode, wireless reverse charge, show battery percentage, battery health. Now this one has battery health like the iPhone. Smart charge, more battery settings, stay connected. Your Wi-Fi or mobile data connection will stay on after the screen turns off. Improve battery life by reducing power consumption caused by notification wake-ups. And there's your power consumption details. So this is what's consuming the most battery. Got YouTube music going the most. And you got your storage, internal storage, and cloud storage. I don't have my cloud enabled because I'm not trying to connect all the Huawei services necessarily. I'm a little bit weary of that. Or if I do connect, it's with a burner number, but you know, so there's that. So that's your storage there. Security status, optimization required. I'm sure it is because we just dumped a bunch of Google apps on there it wasn't expecting. App Security Center, no threats detected. App lock, protect your privacy by locking apps. Locked apps require verification before they can be opened. Password vault, find device, scam guard, trust space, USB debugging, find device. This is your security suggestions. Now you have your emergency SOS. This is its answer to the iPhone, all right? Press the power button 5 times in rapid succession to make an emergency call. Emergency warnings, earthquake warnings. We get a lot of earthquakes here in the US. File safe, mobile guard, SIM pin, all your security stuff, more settings, show passwords, device administrators, encryption and credentials, whoever goes through all these settings. Install apps from external sources. Now you're going to actually have to allow some of these when you install your Google apps to install apps from external sources, but it'll pop up and let you know what to do. Allow connection via HDB. Trusted agents. This is a list of all the trusted Chinese agents that are monitoring your phone once you buy it. Usage information access, screen pinning. Screen pinning locks the screen in a single view. Enable screen pinning, go to the screen you want to pin, touch the recents key, touch the pin icon. So you can pin a screen if you want to stay on one screen. So there's that. Security and your privacy, all right? Location, there's your privacy. Your permission manager, a lot of these things will route back to the settings that we already went through. Image privacy, remove private info from images. Private space, a hidden zone just for you. So this is if you guys are out there hoeing, you get to private space with all your different apps. Suggestions, I don't know what the suggestion is. Just kidding. Acquired device administration privileges. So location services are on. Access my location. Clipboard access alert is on. Huawei ads. Now, this is interesting because it's an advertising service provided by you're still going to get ads, and I don't get a lot of ads in this UI, but you can turn them on. Or if you turn them off, they won't be personalized to you as a thing. But again, I get no ads on this UI as I run through it, at least not that I've seen. So you got digital balance here. Keep your day balanced. Most phones have this kind of option now, as like focus mode or whatever. Keep tabs on how long you use your phone. Too much if you're a phone guy. Manage your child's smartphone use. Keep up on senior family members there. There's your digital balance, all right? Huawei Assistant, same as probably Siri or what's Cortana? No, or whoever it is on Bixby, on whatever. I don't use the voice assistants. AI is such a buzzword now, but there's your assistant if you want her. Voice wake up, wake with power button. Voice. I don't know what I just agreed to. Okay. You have a kid? Cool. All right, can you add your own voice? Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the... Oh, it's preparing. Find somewhere quiet. No, I am the background noise. Rich Kid the Prince is always on point with all of the reviews, no matter if they're garbage or trash. We came to get cash. You know what I mean? Try again. Rich Kid the Prince. Rich Kid the Prince is always on point with all of the reviews. So you can set your custom voice there for your voice assistant, okay? We're getting into the weeds a little bit. AI lens. Scan QR codes, barcodes, other type of codes. Obviously, you can do this through your camera too. You can scan QR codes. AI touch. Analyze on-screen text and images by holding 2 fingers on the screen. Celia suggestions. I think Celia is the assistant name. I had Celia keyboard when I first opened this phone, so I think that's who it is. So we don't use Celia, but you can if you need to. Smart scenes. My scenes. Link smart devices to use. There's my scenes right there. Running logs. Permission notice and sync data. All right. So accessibility features here. Here's accessibility. Screen reader, text to speech, larger text, magnification, large mouse pointer, color correction, color inversion, high contrast text, advanced visual effects. You can do audio and add a hearing aid, mess with your balance there. Hearing aid captions, you can turn them off phone wide. instead of just app-wide like on YouTube when you're watching them. Here's your accessibility shortcuts. I've got Keeper Fill turned on through this because I want it to pop up over the top of my apps to fill in my passwords. Again, if I'm sniffling you guys, I apologize. I've been sick as a dog. I'm just getting over it. Touchscreen settings. Touch duration short. You can change this. Short. Ignore repeated touches. Power button ends call. Others. Installed services. And I've got these installed. Keeper Fill's my main one. It holds all my passwords. Keeper. So there's accessibility. Senior mode. You can turn it on or off. Quickly set up larger text, larger icons, and other usability enhancing features. When enabled, senior mode will also block nuisance calls, block scam calls, block sales calls, real estate agency calls. I got to tell Chelsea that. If I got my Huawei turned on, you do not cold call me for sales. I'm just kidding. A call from Chelsea, always an instant answer. Block calls that only ring once. Check for malicious URLs. Actually, I don't know if that's true because like 2 videos ago, I think she called while I was filming and I might have sent her to voicemail. I may have just called my own bullshit right there. You got one-handed mode. Shortcuts and gestures. Hold down the power button for AI voice. I don't want to do that. Take screenshot. Knock twice on the screen with a knuckle. Right there. Record screen. Knock twice on the screen with 2 knuckles. Screen recorder. Wake screen, raise the phone, or tap twice on the screen. This works super well. Mute ringtone, flip to mute, or raise to reduce ringing volume. Answer calls, raise the phone to your ear to just answer it without having to press the green button. I don't want to do that because I don't want to accidentally answer it. You know, I barely want to talk to anybody anyway. So for me, vision summon, quickly hop services. Come on. So there's one-handed mode, shortcuts and gestures, smart sensing, keep screen on while looking, sure, air scroll. This feature, one of the old LGs had this, and I've been having it's interesting. It lets you scroll basically without touching the screen. You guys see me trying to do it? I think I just did it, but now it's difficult. It's hard to do. You guys see that? There it goes. It doesn't work as well as it should. And this will be useful for maybe like, if you guys are cooking or something, you got a recipe up and you don't want to touch the phone with your greasy ass hands, you can. And I do have this turned on, but it doesn't work that well. Grab shot here is hold your palm out from the screen, make a fist. And that's when you turn it on, that'll grab a screenshot. That's cool. Let's turn that on. Boom. I see, these features don't actually work that well. So right there it worked, but they're kind of frustrating to use. They don't work every time. The scroll thing does not work every time. It'd be cool if it did. Smart Pay, quickly access your payment. Smart Scan, quickly access QR codes. There's multi-window, quickly change views. In full screen mode, swipe towards the top right to resize an app as a floating window, or towards the top left to enter split screen mode. So obviously you can split the screens like you've been able to do for years on Android. Still can't do on iPhone. And you got Super Hub. Now this, drag to Super Hub. Now this I actually kind of like. This is kind of interesting. What you can do is you can drag a file. It's almost like your clipboard, right? So you can, let's see here. Outside watch. I can highlight some text and I can grab the text here and I can drag it up and drop it here. And then I can go into a message and I can bring this up and put the text down there. So it's almost like a Super Hub that it's a clipboard. But I honestly, I kind of have problems sometimes with the clipboard in Android and on the Samsungs and whatnot. So for me personally, I love the Super Hub, and I would use it for emails because I have emails. I have a lot of emails that I copy and paste the same information to different people as part of like templates. And so for me, I would use this all the time. If I have the same information I need to send to 3 separate people, and there's different ways to do that within your email anyway, but I actually use this for work all the time. Super cool, super good feature. Super Hub, smart cover. I'm not sure what that is. I don't have a smart cover. I imagine it's something like when you have the smart case for the Samsung S24s where it shows you the date and time and all that. Stylus, I can turn the stylus on. I don't have a stylus to use here with me now, but why not? I'm gonna try to edit all those gross sniffs out, you guys. My head feels like it's stuffed with water still, and I'm just getting over it. Mistouch prevention, turn on, scheduled power on and off. There's your accessibility features. User and accounts, signed in as. There's your personal accounts. You guys see Google, right? HMS Core. There's your analytics services, restrict third-party sharing, credential manager, automatic updates, sure, check for updates. New version available later, we'll do that later. I don't know what HMS Core is. There's my Google services. You guys, I'm telling you guys, but it's popping out right here. It's not micro G. It's popping up in my stuff, right? There's Google, manage your Google services. Now it said on the other screen, if we go back, it said sync error. It said sync error, but everything seems to be syncing okay. Like I said, except my contacts. I haven't figured out the contacts yet, but here's my Google services, right? Here's all I can go my ads, autofill, boom, boom. There's all my Google services. System and updates. You got software updates. This thing is running Harmony OS. I've got the latest one, 4.0.0.162. This Harmony OS. I think there is an update available. I'll update it here in a second. Software update, system navigation, so you can do gestures or your 3-key navigation. Man, you know what? I just now figured out how to do this right here in front of you guys. I've been trying to. I don't like this. I like I like back, recents, and menu, and I've got it flipped around, but now I'm almost used to doing it that way. So navigation dock, you can turn on and hold and release to return to the home screen. So basically it's gonna give you a little dock right here that you can just press and it'll take you back to the home screen. I don't like it, so I leave it off. System navigation. Language and input, here's your language and region, English, current region, United States, secure keyboard. Now this Microsoft Swift key, I don't normally use this. I normally use Gboard. This Swift key was actually on the Huawei App Store as a keyboard you can download. So to get rid of the Celia keyboard, because it had a lot of the Chinese keys and it was hard to input, I downloaded the Swift key and I've just kind of kept using it. Now I can download Gboard from Play Store, but I use Gboard on all my phones, so I said, why not? Something different. Let's use Swift key and see if we like it. It's fine. It's fine. More input settings. There's autofill, and I got keeper turned on. It's your language and input, your date and time, 24-hour time, boom, boom, all that. Phone clone. Quickly transfer data to your new device without using mobile data. Transfer devices, backup and restore, reset, app guard. App guard runs security checks on apps before you install them. If you want, I don't have this on because the apps I'm installing this phone doesn't like. Simple mode, enjoy a simplified home screen layout with larger icons and text. And you've got your developer options. This is now we go into access developer options. I got to remember how to do this because I believe it's in. Yeah, so when you go to your About phone and you click your Harmony OS version, it'll say developer. And then obviously system and updates, there's your developer options. And there's all of those options here that you can mess with. And I actually, for some reason, this is normally the first thing I do on my phones. I turn off these animations, window transition animator. I didn't do that on this phone. I think I was scared to touch it. I was treating it with kid gloves. I was scared to change anything on it. You know, I really didn't think this thing was going to run in the US. User experience improvement, help us improve our products. No, thank you. No, I will not. I don't want you to improve your products. Certification logos right there. China, boom. And then about phone, you got your device name, model number, Harmony OS version, serial number, IMEI, boom, all of your stuff, status, legal, boom, all of your stuff. So that's all the settings on this phone, you guys. That's about all you can do there. All right, you guys, so let's real quick go over some of the camera settings. So on your camera here, and you've got your photo, video, your pro mode, more, you got slow-mo, panorama, light painting. You can use the flash to capture people as you're shooting in this mode. So this is going to paint this little thing around them. All right, that's what that looks like. You can get star trails, silky water, or traffic trails. You can get time lapse, stickers, documents, take pictures of your documents, dual view, right there. So you got the back view and the front view. This was actually kind of a cool feature on the LG Wing back when. So dual view, high res, story creator, select a template, then touch the shutter to start. So this is going to help you create your Instagram stories. Journey, relaxed, upbeat. Right, so you got all that. Story creator, snapshot, multicam, super macro. Easily shoot from other Huawei devices nearby to capture a scene from different angles. So you can link your cams, link your different Huawei cams. Super macro. Got that right there. Okay, so there's some of your settings. Photo, portrait mode, night mode, and aperture. So here you can change what you need to change. Virtual aperture and physical aperture. And you guys will know more about this than I will. I just want to make sure you guys see all what's available. So you can change that there. And you go into your settings here and you've got your aspect ratio, your audio control. Automatically take photos when people smile, so you can capture smiles. That's kind of cool. Video resolution for your video settings, frame rate, high efficiency format, HDR vivid, enhanced color and contrast effects, rely on playback device and software compatibility. Here you have your assistive grid, so you can split the screen in a grid when you take pictures, horizontal level, timer, add watermark. I always get hate on Reddit if I post something and it's got my watermark in it. And I'm like, you guys, I'm trying to keep track of all these photos for the videos, and if you're comparing phones and whatnot, I'm trying to, when they all get dumped into Google Photos, it gets hard to discern which ones are which. Location tag you can add, floating shutter, and then you can restore your defaults there. So let's see here. So that's about what you got for your camera. Up here, you have color settings, original, vivid, bright, and I like mine on vivid. So you got that, then you've got your flash, you've got that. There's your AI processing that I've talked about during the camera setting. If you turn this on, it's going to reprocess the picture after you take it. In my opinion, makes it worse. So I turned it off. So there's your camera settings, you guys. Your home screens, you can customize by swiping in. I kept holding down, it did nothing. You got to swipe inwards, right? And now you have your wallpaper, service widgets, layout, transitions, and home screen settings. So we already went through home screen settings, obviously. Here's your layout. You can do standard or compact, lock layout, auto align. This is that iPhone thing where they put the apps in their own places. Show widget bars, icon size. You can change your icon sizes, but normal. Me tab includes smart reminders, personalized news, and services you're following. So that's over there to your left. I don't really use this because, as you guys can see, there's a lot of the Chinese stuff on here, but I obviously it is what it is. So where were we? Service widgets. You got your game center. These are all the widgets you can do. And as I installed Google Play services, these just popped up. So a lot of these popped up anyway. Now here's your ones from, this is from Huawei, right? So these are all your widgets, gallery. And then you can go to, scroll all the way down and click this little widgets. And here's where all your Google apps are going to be. I didn't have to do anything to change this. They were just already in there. There's my Drive widgets you guys can see, Dropbox, Gmail right there. So that's all your widgets. And they were just automatically in there once I installed Google Play services. So let's see, transitions, you can have default, perspective, squeeze, or box. I've been liking this box, so let's leave it that way. So that's how you guys alter your home screen. One thing I will say, what I love on these Chinese phones, and Vivo does this, Xiaomi does this, Oppo does this, but I don't think, I can't get it with Samsung and all that, is these expanded folders, right? So like you have your regular folder, let's say this work folder, and I gotta click into it once and then click on the app, right? But if I go enlarge, now I got a bigger folder, still a folder, smaller than your regular icon size, but I can click right into it. I can go right into Google Drive. I love that on these phones. I love that on these Chinese phones. Samsung needs to get that feature. Apple needs to get a lot of other features before they get to this feature, okay? So anyway, all right, and here you guys have your, if you swipe down over here on the left, it's gonna be your notification center, and then if you swipe down on the right, it's gonna be all your standard icons and shortcuts here. If you go to settings here, you can adjust your regular settings, and then of course, you can also scroll down and hit edit, and you can edit switches, show super device, edit your smart screens, or edit devices. If you edit your smart screens, you have no scenes available to download. You can edit your switches, and over here you can take them out just like on all your regular Android phones and replace them with some of these here. So that's your notification bar there. So that's all the settings, and that's how you customize your home screen there. Now, let's go over the day-to-day, the work aspect, and let's go ahead and wrap this up, okay? So on the day-to-day, I charge from 0 to 100 on this phone in about 40 minutes, which is super quick. I got no problems. And when you plug this thing in, you plug this phone in, and it'll say, well, it's not saying it there, because I can't do it with this charger, but with its own charger, you'll be able to hold it and it'll activate warp charge, sprint into action, and it'll charge it super quick, right? So I got no problems with the battery on this phone, but even if I did, it charges up super quick with the charger that it comes with. No problems there. Another thing I like about this phone, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm a pretty vain person. I feel good, and you guys can call me an idiot, I honestly do not care. I feel good that I probably can look at everyone's house in this neighborhood and nobody's got this phone inside it. Maybe in the state, in the country, there's a few, all right? I'm sure Joe Biden's got one. They had to go get one to figure it out, okay? To figure out what's going on with China, you know, with all this secret surveillance and how do they even make this phone? So Joe Biden probably has one. I'm sure, you know, the other, you know, the vice president has one, Kamala, and then I've got one too also, okay? I'm part of the big team, okay? So, feel-wise, this thing feels, I don't know if you guys remember a long time ago, the iPhone 6, all right? It had these curved edges, which this thing does, and it feels like an upscale, iPhone 6, for better or worse. I honestly, for one, do not like I don't like the rounded edges, the soft edges, personally. I like the sharp corners and the aggressive edges of the S24 Ultra. That's what I like, but obviously it's a complete preference thing. So the size of this thing is perfect. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. The camera's not overbearing on the back there. So all of that is perfect. I love the sides of this phone, and it feels great. It's smooth. It's a little slippery, but not too bad. It's super smooth, and it feels nice in the hand. It feels, like I said, like an upscale iPhone 6, and I mean that as a compliment, okay? So for most of you guys, if you choose to import this phone, you can get Gbox or Gspace, and you can pretty much just download the APK, and it'll work. And what it is it's an app that'll connect to the Google servers, and then you have to go into the app to then access the Google apps from there. And that's why it's different than what we have here. We have here, these apps are not running through Gbox or Gspace. These are the real Google apps. And again, I'm not well versed enough in programming or whatever to explain that to you guys, but you know, it feels like the most stock you can get. And if you guys go to the video in the link, it'll install that. This has been working perfectly. I've been running this phone with a SIM card in it, sometimes as my daily driver, because obviously I got two phones right there. Perfect. So, but for most of you guys, if you do want to use it, get Gbox or Gspace, it'll be fine. So that leads us kind of to the to a discussion question, okay, of why, right? Why? You know, just because this phone's not available here doesn't instantly mean that it's a better phone than anything that we have here. All right, and that's not to say that it's a bad phone or that anything's wrong with it. But if you're going to go through the work of setting this up with Google Play and importing it and understanding that you have no support from the company and no one to ask questions about this phone, if you're okay with all that, what do you get back, right? What service do you get back that's amazing? Is the camera absolutely knockout amazing on this phone? No. You know what? I'm going to reiterate this at the end. Let's keep going through it. So with the case that they provided, it doesn't look too upscale. I don't like this case. I like that they gave you a free case, but it doesn't look the most upscale, right? So it looks kind of cheap, but hey, you guys get a case, all right? I personally don't like to rock the case because I think it looks cheap, but you know, I also go through a lot of phones and I don't like breaking all my phones because I need to sell them and I need to use them and I like staying fresh. So I do end up using a case usually when I'm going out. So, and I love this widget here where I can press the clock and it goes to my clock, and I can press the weather, or it goes to my calendar, and I press the weather, it goes to my, I love that. I love that, you guys. For some reason, I love that. Look at that. It's all in this one little widget. Clock, and then I got my weather, and then I got my calendar. I love it. I love it, okay? So, and I already went over the folders. I love how you can make your folders big. So, as far as for working on this phone, I would not necessarily, I wouldn't say that nothing's gonna work. All my apps work, Teams, Trello, everything works on this phone. But I wouldn't say I would rely on it for my job, right? So if you guys are in construction, if you guys are relying on your phone for you know, taking calls, taking meetings, all that kind of stuff, I would shy away from this, because at the end of the day, even if you install Google Play services, I don't know how stable it is. I don't know what's gonna happen to those services in a week, or what's, you know, if a bug's gonna get fixed or something's gonna get added to the software, what's gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen. So I wouldn't, this phone is perfectly usable for work, but would I rely on it on a day-to-day as my only phone for work? No, and especially here, not in the US. Now, obviously, if I was in China, that answer might be far different. So the one thing I will say, beyond that, besides that, it will, as a work phone, as a processing speed, everything is super quick, no lag. It zips through apps exactly the way I need it to. This Super Hub is very cool as far as a clipboard, and I use it for emails all the time. So there's no problems with that. The one thing, like I said before, it gets super hot running Google Maps, but again, it's not meant to run Google services. I don't know, you know, I keep saying it because it's the case, but you know, it gets super hot running those apps, but overall, there's no problems with it, but it's not, you know, the speediest, the quickest, the fastest of the phones, okay? So overall, let's circle back now real quick. So it's the why, right? So if you're importing a phone, if I'm importing a Vivo X90 Pro Plus like I did last year, you're going through the problems of not having the service, not having the backup support, and you know, just basically knowing that you're going to spend full price, no trade-ins, nothing like that. So what are you getting back? Well, we got back, Chelsea and I got back a camera. That was probably, I regret selling this phone, and I'm about to get the Oppo Find to try to make up for it. But we get a camera that was by far, in my opinion, the best camera of 2023, okay? And even now leading into 2024, at least until the Vivo 100 Pro Plus comes out. Anyway, with this phone, it's like, unless you're super into phones for the sake of, you know, the interest or being a collector, like I might not even sell this phone, because for me, it's just super cool to have it. And I remember when it came out, there was a big blow up about it because of the US-China tensions. And so for me, even as just a collector, it's worth it, right? But for you, if you're getting one single phone and you're gonna go through the hassle of getting something that's not readily available here in the US, what's the trade-off? What are you getting that's so much better? And the answer on this is really nothing. Now, that is not to say that this is a bad phone. This is a fantastic flagship phone with flagship specs, with a flagship camera. But the camera is not better enough to the point where you should go through the trouble of importing this phone to the US. And even if you are wanting to import a phone in the US, there's other phones to do it with. You can do a Xiaomi, you can do a Vivo, you can do Oppo, right? So this is pretty much the farthest reach. And that's because I say that because technically you can't have Google Play Store and Play services on there, right? Now, once you install it, it's going to alleviate a lot of your concerns. But as far as stability, as far as peace of mind of using this, I would not go for this as your only single phone here in the US. And again, if we were in China, I may change that. But you know, this phone runs alongside the flagships, but it's not quicker than the S24 Ultra, right? It's not, the camera's not necessarily better. I'll probably do a comparison video too. The camera's not necessarily better. It can be, but the camera's a personal preference, and you can tweak options in this to make this camera look the way you want it to also. Some of these other phones, the Vivo camera, whatnot, that was out the box, was fantastic. I was like, wow, amazing. So for me, that was worth it. But so that's what I'm really trying to get down to here is this phone is fantastic, right? But why would you get what, unless you're a collector or unless you're super interested in this phone? Let's wrap it up with the bottom line here. The bottom line is this: I would not get this phone in the US, okay? This phone is a flagship phone, but for the price, which again, I paid about $1,300, and you got to do a lot of work to get Google services on it, and still it's not going to run as well as your native Google services. So for me, I would say the bottom line is, if you're a collector, if this is super interesting to you, scoop this thing up. This thing is, the feeling I got when I was able to install Google Play on it, and when I was able to actually use it on a day-to-day basis with no problems, the feeling I got, it was honestly, you guys can make as much fun of me as you want. I'm a phone nerd. I love phones. I always have, since the days of the flip phones, since I was using my parents' money to upgrade my line for 2 more years so that they'd send me a new phone, and then I was trying to intercept the package so that my parents wouldn't see that I got a new phone, and then I was hoping that they wouldn't notice it on their phone bill, which they always did, and I always got in trouble. I love phones, okay? So for me, this thing is super worth it, and getting Google Play installed on it and being able to use it is just, I'm geeked. It's so worth it for me. For you guys, if you guys are looking at it as a workhorse, you guys need to buy one phone this year. This would not be it, at least not in the US. And remember, this is a US perspective, right? So bottom line, this is a beast of a phone. It's not a bigger beast than the S24 Ultra, and I would skip this in the US unless you're a collector. You guys, thank you so much for bearing with me through these videos. I know they get long. I do the videos like I like to watch the videos, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. And stay tuned. We're going to have more coming up. Thanks, you guys.